Hey guys, so I'm driving down the road and I thought I would share some of my thoughts. I'm heading up to New York with my boys from We Really Hunt. Got Ox with me, and we're going to be doing some we've got incredible waterfowl hunts lined up for this weekend, and I'm really excited to work the dog, and it's just going to be fantastic. But it's not my reason for turning the camera on. Really what I want to talk about is something much greater than that, and something much more important than that. And I said to myself, you know what, I'm driving down the road and I'm looking at these beautiful mountains and going through Pennsylvania here, and you know, I feel like I need to just share, and so that's what I'm going to do. And you know, so really the story starts from when I left high school. You know, I had everything mapped out. Knew what I was going to do. You know, I'm going to go to this particular college and I'm going to be this, you know, I know what I want to be. And, you know, life didn't turn out that way. Life didn't turn out that way for me. And so I had these expectations and these of myself, and other people had expectations of what I was supposed to do. And there was a lot of pressure. And once I left that particular environment, I was lost. I had no direction whatsoever. No self-esteem. I lost my self-esteem. I lost my all of this, you know, all of this great self-esteem that I had built up. All of it was just shattered, blown apart, because, in fact, I didn't know where I wanted to be, or what my life was supposed to be, or what I was on this earth to do. I thought I knew that, and then it was all boom, shattered. You know, so I went through that time of my life, 18, 19, 20, 21. You know, I had no clue. I'm searching. I'm looking in every direction. I'm like, what am I here for? There's got to be something bigger than this. I've got to be able to, like, everybody else seems to know what they're doing. Why don't I know what I'm going to do? And it went on like that for years. And I was lost. And it was really a tough time in my life. And, you know, so I went through that portion of my life, and, you know, I was just struggled. Like a lot of people do. And then, you know, I get into I'm in my 20s. Everybody else is doing their thing. They're doing their jobs. They're making families. They're doing all of these great things. And I'm like, man, I was so lost. I'm like, I just don't know what I'm going to do. And why am I so different than everybody else? What is wrong with me? You know, and so let's fast forward a little bit. You know, I finally decided, all right, man, I'm going to try this college thing one more time, because I've got to get a degree. And I don't know, I know that I love technology. So let me go and give this a shot. I'm 28 years old at the time. This is my last go. And I'm like, okay, let's go do this. So I go, you know, and first day of classes, I sat in classes that day, and I'm like, it blew my mind. I'm like, this is what I was called to do. My brain just immediately like wanted more. Like it turned on, and it was like, feed me. I want to know all this. I want to know everything about it. And I was so jacked, because finally that part of my life where I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing, now I know. Now I knew where my passion was. And I can't tell you what a relief that was. You know, so 2.5 years go through, or 2 years go by, and I'm taking these classes and I'm doing my thing. And I was just feeding off of everything I could possibly find to feed off of, to learn more. I wanted more. It was like being jacked into a a computer. It was like the Matrix, where you're jacking in and feed me more. And that was a beautiful time in my life, and I met a lot of beautiful people. Chris Sinclair, one of my best friends I met there. He was the same way, man. It just turned us on. Like, we knew that was it. And Chris has become very successful, and I have become very successful from that program. And I owe everything to, I had a professor, Scott Adams, who ended up being a guy that I knew from back home that ended up being one of my professors, and he's feeding me, and I'm watching him, and he's watching me, and we're playing off of each other. We're pushing each other to the next level, and it was a beautiful time in my life. And then, I go through my career, and I'm like, all right, I got to make up some time here, because all of my other, all of these other people, all of my other friends, they've gone and done amazing things, and they're high, they're way ahead in their career, and they're doing their thing, and I'm way behind. And I'm like, I gotta catch up, and so I go on this like 15-year grind of just, let me do my career. That is like the only thing I thought about, was go to work, make the place a better place than it was the day before you got there. And that was my mantra every day. Every day I went to work, I'm going to make this place, regardless of where I was working, I'm going to make this place a better place than it was the day before. And I made some mistakes, and I learned from those mistakes, and I went on, and I got knocked down, and I never got knocked down to the point where I could not get back up. I always knew I had to get back up. I always knew that no matter what happened, I was going to get back up, and I was going to continue, because this was my passion, and I was good at it. I thought about things in a different way that other people didn't think about, and it was just really a beautiful thing. And I was doing what I think God put me on this earth to do.
US 220 North ramp to Williamsport.
And that was just a blessing. And Guy Short was the guy that really gave me my break, doing IT at Meherrin River Regional Jail. That was my first IT job. And Guy was, I'll never forget going in for that interview. I was so nervous. Guy was so cool. He asked me, and he challenged me in that interview. He said, I want you to, do this architectural diagram of a virtual environment, and he gives me this, this scenario. And my brain just turns on, man, and it's just firing on all cylinders. And I write it out, and I, as fast as I can, and I was just eating it up because I loved it, And I looked at it, and I remember smiling at it.
Continue on I-80 East for 13 miles.
And I handed it to him. I handed the board the diagram, and I was like, yeah, you could do this and that, with the cloud storage and all of this, and I'm just fired up about it, and I think he saw that. I think he saw the passion, and he gave me my shot, and then after that, thank God for Pamunkey Regional Jail, they gave me another shot, and then thank God after that, Virginia Commonwealth University Health System, they gave me another shot, and I, there were times that I stumbled, because I thought I knew it all. And, I thought that, I just had to grow and learn lessons. So fast forward, I get, to West Virginia University Health System, and, I am doing my utmost. We moved up here, didn't know anybody. I was scared to death. I didn't know anybody. We had no family here. COVID hits as soon as we get here, and then all of a sudden Chris and I are in the house together for a year and a half, with nobody to talk to really but us. And it was scary. But I just kept working and grinding. Kristen kept working and grinding, doing our thing, But this whole time, even though I'm doing really well with my career, even though I have all of these things, you know, like these material things, I still had this hole in my chest, and I just could not fill it. I didn't know what it was. It was this hole. And I would call my dad, and I would call other people, and I'm like, man, you know, like, I've really done well with my career. You know, I have all of these things that, you know, I'm very proud of, but they're just things, they're material things, and I do not feel like, I don't feel complete. I've got the career I want, I've got these things, these material things, but something's not right. And so I remember just looking, searching, what is it that I'm missing? Is it because I didn't have kids? Is it because I didn't, you know, I'm not in the right place? Is it, you know, what is it that is this hole? And I finally figured it out. You know, one morning I just got, about a year and a half ago, I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I just can't do this anymore. Like, I'm lost and I'm broken. And I don't know where to go. I don't know where to turn to. And I'm sitting on the couch and I'm really emotional and upset. And, you know, Kristen goes, you know what? Let's call this guy. You know, he's a preacher and I know him. And I helped him find a house. And I didn't know him and he didn't know me. And she's like, let's call him and see if we can go talk to him. And I said, okay. You know, because I had nowhere else to go. I didn't know what else to do. So, you know, I call up this guy, Larry Buckland. He's my pastor, and he's my pastor now. I didn't know him then. And so I pick up the phone and I call him and I'm like, hey, Larry, man, I'm crying. I'm like, Larry, I just don't know where to turn, man. I'm lost and I need help. I don't know what to do. And Larry said, you know what? I want you to come see me right now. You know, this guy could have said a lot of things. And he's like, I want you to come see me right now. He didn't know me. But he knew that, you know, he had an answer. Or he could help me find the answer. So I'll never forget it. I end up, you know, going to his office. I show up and I'm like, Larry, here's my problem with religion. And I said, I've asked a lot of pastors this, and this is why I never have been able to get on board. Because the answer has always been the same. The answer has always been the same. So I said, Larry, here's my problem. This guy in Nepal, this Tibetan monk, who doesn't know Jesus, never heard of Jesus, but lives by more Christian values on a daily basis than anyone I know. You can tell me that that person is going to go to hell because they don't know Jesus. And he's like, no, that is not true. And I've never heard a pastor say that before. Every other pastor I ever asked that question to, they were like, yep, they're going to hell. And I'm like, there is no way that you can tell me that a man like that, just because they don't know or call their God by the same name that I do, is going to hell because they call that God by a different name. They call that prophet by a different name. And he's like, you're exactly right. He's like, we're inclusive here. I want everybody. I want people who are Jewish to come to our services, and Muslim, and I want all, you know, just because you call God by a different name, that doesn't mean you're wrong. And I'm like, it was like mind-blowing. Finally, I have a pastor who tells it like it is. The reality of the situation is the reality of the situation here. And then therefore I can get on board. I can get on board because I believe that. I can get down with that. It makes sense. And so that's how it started. And so Larry, like, and I get emotional about this. I'm sitting in his office and I'm broken. And he says, Hunter, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna get you everywhere, everything that you need. I'm gonna get you what you need. We're gonna fix this together. And he meant it. And he meant it. And he did exactly what he said he was going to do. And he called and he checked up on me every day. He got me involved in, doing things outside of myself, doing things for the church, doing things for other people. And lo and behold, this big hole in my chest starts to close. And I find that the answer to all of this is, Hunter, you got to get out of your own way. You got to get out of your own head. You got to get out of your own self and your ego and your self-centeredness and start living your life to serve others. And I'm like, boom, like, really? That was the answer the whole time? And I could remember back to even when I was a child, I was very self-centered. And I didn't know that was bad then, I guess. I don't know. I just didn't know it. And I grew up like, I just went through my life like that, where everything was about me. If it wasn't about me, it wasn't happening. God, what a way to live, man. Like, what a poor way to live your life. And so here at 44 and a half years old, I'm sitting in this man's office, and he's like, Hunter, you got to get yourself out of the way so that you can let a higher power help you and give you the power that you need. Because you don't have, obviously, I don't have the power. If I had the power, I wouldn't be sitting here. If I could do this on my own, if I had the finite power of a human being, and I could do this on my own, I would not be sitting here today.
In 2 miles, take exit 173 for Pennsylvania
obviously,
64 toward Lamar.
I did not have the power as a human being, nor did any other human being or human entity have the power to give me what I needed to find that peace and serenity and that joy that life can actually bring. And this man is giving me the answer. And so I start down that path. I'm like, you know what? I've done everything else. I'm going to start doing this because I've got to find something that's greater than me. This life, there's no way this life is all about me. And once I started doing that, man, I started doing service work for other people. I started helping other people like me recover and find new lives and change their families and change their lives, and doing service work for others and carrying that torch forward and doing all these amazing things. And I'm going to tell you, there's nothing like it. Absolutely nothing like it. There's no drug on this planet. There's no alcohol on this planet. There's no any other thing, material item on this planet. There's nothing finite on this planet that can get you as high as you get from serving others and watching the light come on and watching them change their lives.
Take exit 173.
Absolutely, without a doubt, unbelievable. And so, as I was driving, I felt, hey, I felt compelled. I need to tell this story. I need to share this story because it's so powerful, and there's so many people out there that are struggling.
Pennsylvania 64 North.
There's so many people out there that are still living their lives on on ego, in fear, and self-centeredness.
Continue on Pennsylvania 64
and all of these
North
things
for 5
that are
miles.
self, all about me, all about me. I'm only concerned with that, with myself, and what's going on with me, and what's happening with me. And when I pray about me. I pray for God to do things for me, and for my higher power to do things for me. It's not about that. And at 44 and a half years old, I figured, like, the light goes on. And it's not like I wasn't raised in a church. I was raised in the First Baptist Church. Went to church every Sunday. My mom was very diligent about that. We're going to church. We're part of the church. We did that. And I believed that. But at some point in time in my life, I started to disagree with the religious philosophy behind Baptists, right? Which these preachers were telling me, yes, Hunter, if that man does not know Jesus, does not call him by that Jesus name, does not call him and does not believe that, then he is going to hell. And I'm like, that logically does not make sense. That man will go to hell, even though he's living a more Christian life according to our values of love and forgiveness and all of these New Testament, New Covenant values. He's living that life, even though he doesn't know it. He doesn't call it by that, but he's living that lifestyle and doing a way better job at it than I am. But just because I call my prophet Jesus, all of a sudden that makes him bad and me good. That's bullshit. And finally I had somebody lay it down to me. The United Methodist Church. He laid it down to me. And he said, yeah. He's like, no, that's not right. That's bollocks. And I'm like, finally, I've got that. I've got someone in the, religious, in the church that I can identify with. And he saved my life that day. And I'll be forever grateful. And I would turn to other things, right? My thing was, when COVID hit, I turned to alcohol. And I turned to alcohol in a big way. And I needed it because I was drowning. And I needed to forget. I needed to numb out all of these, thoughts about all this loneliness and all of this, all this hollowness that I had inside of me, and all of these things that were going on that I was trying to control. I needed to be able to forget. And, just like Morgan Wallen says, or any of these other country singers, I picked up the bottle to try to forget. And it became something that became, part of my life. And then I was trying to impress people and trying to do, be someone I was not, and trying to, mold myself to whatever crowd that I happen to be in, and trying to, live around these people who they don't have my values, and so why was I hanging out with them? And so I immediately start helping others with their problems with alcohol. I get in there and I do my program, and it changed my life. It changed my life because it's about serving others. It's about taking what I know and was freely given to me and freely giving it to the next man or woman so that they can change their lives. And I can't tell you how amazing it is to give the solution to these people and watch them change their life, their families' lives, watch them get back together with their kids. You can't get that high on any alcohol or drug or any material item on this planet. It does not exist. You can't get that high that you get from serving
in a quarter
others
mile, slight right
and
onto
watching
Long Run
them
Road.
change their lives. It's absolutely freaking amazing. And I wish I had known a long time ago, right? I wish. But at the same time, all of my past got me to where I am today, so that I can tell this story. So that I can tell people this story about how I was lost. Because there's so many people out there that were lost, that are lost. They're still lost today. You know, and they're struggling. And people don't know behind closed doors what's going on. And they don't know that these people are struggling. You know, and a lot of people don't know what the solution is. Nobody's out there, you know, saying, hey man, I see you're suffering.
Keep left to stay on Pennsylvania 477
I got a solution.
South.
Here's
then
a
use
solution.
the right lane to take the US 220
And you can take it or
road.
leave it. But there is a solution. My solution is my higher power.
Use the right lane to take
My
the US
solution
220
is the fact that
road.
I am doing work for others now. And that when I tell you I'm going to do something, I do it. You know?
Continue on
When I
US
tell you I'm going to
220
be there
for
for you,
28
or I
miles.
tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to lie to you about anything. I'm going to give you the truth. I'm going to live my life like that. And I'm going to try to do it as best I can every day. I'm not going to be perfect, but I'm damn sure going to be better than I was the day before. And so that's where I'm at, and that's where I'm trying to, you know, trying to help people find that, and trying to tell people what my story is. So in hopes that maybe it helps somebody else. Maybe somebody else gets a light turned on, and they go, yeah man, I identify, I've been there where that guy was. And like, look what he's doing now. I want what he has. I want to feel that joy and that peace and that comfort, and not have to worry about what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. I may be dead in the next 5 minutes. I'm not worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. Nor do I wish to forget or shut the door on what happened in the past, because that gives me the ability to tell the story and to guide others into the spirit and higher power. And I don't know why I felt that I needed to make this video. I thought I was just looking at the mountains and the beauty, and I had some time, and I'm like, you know what, I need to tell my story, and I feel like I need to share it so that somebody else may see it and go, Hunter, I want to, you know, like, let me message Hunter. Let me find out like what the hell he's talking about. You know, maybe it sparks a light in someone. Anyway, it's a long video and a long story, but I wanted to share it because I feel like if more people spoke out and if more people told the story, that somebody might be helped and somebody might be saved, and somebody might come to this and understand that it's not about what we call this higher power. It's not about what we name it. It's that we're doing good, orderly direction. It's that we're doing love and kindness and thoughtfulness for our fellows every day. We're taking that love into the community. We're taking that love and kindness, and we're living that in all of our affairs. Everything that we do. At work, I'm doing it at work. I'm doing it with my wife. At home, in my marriage, I'm doing it with with my friends. You know, especially my friends who've stuck by me all of this time. They've watched this transformation occur. You know, and I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful they stood by me. You know, my marriage, total 180-degree change. I wish I had known that a long time ago, but I didn't. So what are you going to do? But now, it saved a marriage and made a beautiful marriage. A beautiful marriage. You know, and is it perfect? No, nothing's perfect. Nothing's perfect. You know, and life is life. Something could happen tomorrow that's going to suck. It's hills and valleys. But guess what? I'm not going to be reactive to it. I'm not going to react in an angry, ego driven way, I'm going to have these tools that I can say, you know what, I'm going to stop. I'm going to pray to my higher power, and then I'm going to proceed with my day. And if I do something wrong, I'm going to tell that person right then, you know what, I'm sorry for that. I should not have said that. I should not have done that. I apologize. I apologize for that. And then if I need to, I call a friend and I talk to them about it, and I say, you know what, I did this and I don't feel good about it. I need to make sure that I make that right, and I need to make it right then. I don't let it pass into tomorrow. And I do these things because I'm living for today. I'm trying to milk every single marrow out of the bone of today. I want today to be the best day that I can make it. Because I may not wake up tomorrow, and that's okay. You know, that's not my decision. I don't have to worry about it. You know? And I'm going to tell you, once you get to that point where you just say, what, you know what, I'm not driving this bus. Higher power, I need you to take this wheel. I need you to drive. I want you to drive, and I want you to tell me, what's the next right decision? What's the next right thing that I need to do today? And when I live like that, it takes all that stress out of it. I don't have to control it. I don't want to control it. Whatever happens is going to be the will of my higher power, not mine. I'm not living on self-will anymore. So I hope that helps somebody out. It helps me to tell the story. And so maybe it helps someone else out there. I love you all. It's a long video, and you may not get through it all, but I hope it helps someone out there. I love you all. Thanks for letting me rant on about it. And, let me know if it helps you. Thanks.